20 circus freaks that actually existed. Prepare to be amazed. From the human serpent to the four-legged girl, these fascinating figures, known as circus freaks, challenged society's perceptions and turned their unique abilities into captivating performances. Get ready to meet these remarkable people and discover their stories of resilience, talent, and the power of the human spirit. Number 1. Mirin Dajo, the Invulnerable Man. Okay, let's talk about Mirin Dajo, a man who challenged the very limits of what we thought was possible. Born in the Netherlands in 1912, Dajo wasn't your average Joe. He had a knack for the extraordinary, a talent that would make him a legend. Imagine this. He could stick swords and giant needles right through his body, but no blood, no pain, no injury. Think about that. It's no wonder the doctors were scratching their heads. They were baffled. They did x-rays, all kinds of tests. But no matter what they tried, Dajo's strange ability was real. No tricks, no illusions, just this unbelievable act that defied all medical logic. The 1940s, that's when Dajo truly became a star, his fame spreading like wildfire. People were amazed, and they couldn't get enough of this man who seemed to be a walking miracle. But the truth is, Dajo's life remains a mystery. He was a puzzle, a man who pushed the boundaries of what we thought we knew about the human body. Was he a freak of nature? Did he have a secret power? No one really knows. But one thing's for sure, Mirin Dajo left an incredible mark on the world, a legacy that continues to intrigue and inspire us to this day. He was a man who made us question everything we thought we knew about the world, and that, in itself, is a pretty remarkable feat. Number 2. Johnny Eck, the Half-Man. Born in 1911 in Baltimore, Johnny Eck was born different. He didn't have the lower half of his torso. But Johnny? He didn't let that stop him. He wasn't going to let something like that hold him back. Instead, he became a force to be reckoned with. He was an actor, a horror artist, a painter, a musician, and a filmmaker. He even learned to do some amazing acrobatics. He was truly a multi-talented person, and he wasn't afraid to show the world what he was made of. Johnny got his big break in 1932, starring in the movie Freaks. This movie was huge for him. It showed the world that he was more than just a unique physical appearance. He had talent, he had charisma, he had something special. He was a real inspiration to people, showing them that being different wasn't a bad thing. In fact, it could be a strength. Johnny challenged people's ideas about what was normal, and he helped people to understand that everyone has their own unique journey. Johnny Eck became a legend. He was a symbol of courage and talent. He showed the world that you can overcome any obstacle, you can reach for your dreams, and you can achieve amazing things, no matter what life throws your way. He was truly a one-of-a-kind guy, and his story continues to inspire us to this day. Number 3. Martin Laurello, the Owl Man. All right, prepare to be amazed because we're talking about Martin Laurello, a man who could turn his head 180 degrees. That's right, he could look directly behind him without moving his entire body. Talk about a head turner. This wasn't a magic trick, folks. This was a real, live ability, a unique physical condition that allowed him to dislocate his vertebrae without hurting himself. He trained for years to perfect this skill, and he became a sensation. Imagine seeing this. People were stunned, fascinated, and a little bit scared too. They couldn't believe their eyes. Here was this guy, the Owl Man, as he was called, with this incredible ability. He was a true curiosity, a spectacle that drew crowds wherever he went. He performed in variety shows and circuses, always the center of attention. He was born in Germany, but made his way to the United States, dazzling audiences all over the country. He was more than just a performer, though. He was a symbol of human fascination, a testament to what we can achieve with determination and the power of our own bodies. He showed us that what might seem impossible could be real, and that's something to truly marvel at. Number 4. Alice Elizabeth Doherty, the Minnesota Woolly Baby. Born in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1887, Alice became known as the Werewolf Girl because she had an incredibly rare condition called hypertrichosis lanuginosa. It made her body covered in a thick layer of soft hair called lanugo. Imagine that. A baby born with fur all over. Alice's parents, wanting to provide for their family, made the difficult decision to showcase her condition in curiosity shows. She became a popular attraction, drawing in crowds who wanted to see this amazing and unusual girl. They called her things like the Minnesota Woolly Baby, names that might seem odd to us now, but back then, it was just the way things were. Despite the attention, Alice lived a fairly normal life. She had her family's love and support, and she found ways to turn her unique situation into something positive. She helped her family make a living, and she brought joy to people all over the world. Alice is an important reminder that being different isn't a bad thing. It can make you special, make you stand out, and give you the chance to share something unique with the world. She lived with dignity and grace, and her story shows us that we can all find a way to make our differences a source of strength and inspiration. Number 5. Myrtle Corbin, the four-legged girl from Texas. Myrtle was born in 1868, and from the very beginning, she was different. She had diphagus, a rare condition that gave her an extra set of legs. It's like having a parasitic twin who didn't fully develop, but was still there, adding to her unusual physique. At just 13 years old, Myrtle was already performing in the sideshow circuit. The crowds were drawn to her, fascinated by this four-legged girl from Texas. She became a sensation, traveling all over the country with her unique ability. Even though she was born in Tennessee, Texas became her home, her career, and her story. She spent most of her life there, performing in circuses and curiosity shows, always the center of attention. Myrtle lived a long life, reaching the age of 59, which was quite remarkable considering the time period. Her story reminds us that people can live full and meaningful lives, even with extraordinary physical differences. She showed the world that being unique wasn't something to be ashamed of, but rather something to be celebrated. What do you think about the ethics of exhibiting people with unique physical conditions in sideshows? Number 6. Pasqual Piñón, the two-headed Mexican. Pasqual was a Mexican railroad worker, just trying to make a living, but he had a large cyst or tumor on his head. That's how he caught the eye of a curiosity show promoter. And that's where things took a turn. To make Pasqual even more of a spectacle, the promoter created a facial prosthesis that looked like a second face. They even added makeup to emphasize the eyes, nose, and mouth. It was all about the shock value, about attracting the biggest crowds. Pasqual, even though he was being exploited, used this opportunity to support his family. He toured North America, performing in these shows, with crowds lining up to see this two-headed man. It's a story about the lengths people went to in the past to entertain and make a living. It's a story about human curiosity, but also about exploitation and the tragedy of being turned into a spectacle. Number 7. Pauline Musters, the world's smallest woman. Pauline, born in the Netherlands in 1876, was known as the world's smallest woman. She reached a height of only 58 centimeters, making her a true wonder of the world. Imagine that, a tiny, charming woman who traveled the globe, captivating audiences with her presence. She was a star in the world of curiosity shows, a beloved figure who captured hearts with her charisma and vibrant personality. She performed in variety shows, showcasing her unique talent and bringing smiles to the faces of all who saw her. She was a symbol of courage and determination, a woman who lived her life to the fullest, despite the challenges she faced. But sadly, her life was cut short. Pauline died in 1895 at the young age of 19, succumbing to pneumonia and meningitis. Number 8. Prince Randian, the human serpent. Born in 1871 in British Guiana, Prince Randian faced a challenge from the very start. He was born without arms and legs, but this incredible man refused to let his physical limitations hold him back. He was like a snake, slithering and moving with such agility and strength that it was hard to believe he didn't have limbs. Just imagine it. He could roll cigarettes, light them, even shave, all using only his mouth. He could move with such precision and grace, it was almost impossible to comprehend. He was a marvel. Randian became a star in freak shows during the late 1800s and early 1900s. He joined the legendary Barnum and Bailey Circus, where he would slither across the stage, mesmerizing audiences with his incredible skills. He was more than just a performer. He was a symbol of courage and determination, proof that even the most challenging obstacles can be overcome with strength and resilience. Number 9. Chang and Eng Bunker, the original Siamese twins. Born in Thailand in 1811, these two brothers were joined at the chest, their livers fused together. It was a rare condition, and it made them a sensation. They were the first known and most famous conjoined twins, the ones who gave their unique condition its name. In 1829, they traveled to the United States, and that's where their story really took off. They became performers, showcasing their unique bond to the world. They'd walk, run, even do chores together, demonstrating how they coordinated their movements despite being physically joined. They were a true spectacle, captivating audiences wherever they went. But their story wasn't just about being a curiosity. Chang and Eng found love, got married, and even had their own families. They had 21 children between them, setting a world record for conjoined twins. Chang and Eng Bunker lived long, successful lives. They became household names, traveled all over the United States, and even amassed a fortune. They showed the world that being different wasn't a limitation, but a unique opportunity to live a full, happy life. Number 10. Felix Werle, the Elastic Man. Born in Wisconsin in 1858, Felix discovered his unique ability at a young age. He could stretch his skin like chewing gum and bend his limbs backward without breaking a sweat. It was like he was a superhero, a real-life rubber man. Felix took his extraordinary talent on the road, performing in museums and wowing crowds at circuses, including the legendary Ringling Brothers Circus. Imagine seeing this guy in person. It must have been incredible. Experts think Felix might have had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a condition that makes your connective tissue weak, giving you stretchy skin and super loose joints. But regardless of what caused it, Felix's abilities were real. He turned his condition into a career, entertaining audiences and showing them that the human body can do things that seem impossible. Which of the circus freak stories we discussed today surprised you the most? Number 11. Schlitzie Surtees, the last of the Pinheads. Born in 1901, Schlitzie had a condition called microcephaly, which gave him a small head and some intellectual challenges. But that didn't stop him from finding joy and success in life. Schlitzie was a natural performer, and he found his calling in the world of sideshows. He could sing, dance, tell jokes, and he had this amazing charm that drew people in. His laughter was contagious, and it warmed the hearts of everyone who met him. He became even more famous when he starred in the movie Freaks in 1932, playing himself. He showed the world that he was more than just his condition. He was a talented performer, a funny guy, and a true inspiration to anyone who met him. Schlitzie's story teaches us that we should embrace everyone's differences and celebrate what makes us unique. Number 12. General Tom Thumb, the Little Big Talent. Charles Stratton, that was his real name. Born in 1838, he was only 63 centimeters tall, a tiny little guy. But P.T. Barnum, the famous showman, spotted him when he was just 4 years old, and he knew he had a star on his hands. Tom Thumb, as he was known, became the main attraction at Barnum's American Museum in New York City. And he wasn't just a cute little mascot. This guy could sing, dance, act, even imitate historical figures. He was a one-man show, a true entertainer. He took his show to Europe, wowing audiences all over the continent. He even met Queen Victoria. Tom Thumb was a household name. His face was everywhere, from trading cards to teacups. He showed the world that size doesn't matter when it comes to talent and charisma. Number 13. Edward Mordrake, the man with two faces. Imagine this. Born into a wealthy English family in the 19th century, Edward had a second face on the back of his head. It's not a pleasant thought, is it? And it gets even creepier. This second face supposedly whispered to him at night, uttering horrible, disturbing thoughts. Edward was desperate to be rid of this curse. He sought help from doctors and spiritualists, but no one could provide an answer. He sank into despair and madness, and according to the legend, he took his own life at a young age. The story of Edward Mordrake lives on, a haunting tale that challenges our understanding of medicine and the human mind. He remains a tragic figure, a man whose life was consumed by a medical mystery. But here's the thing. The story of Edward Mordrake is considered an urban legend. There's no concrete proof that he actually existed. It's a story that's been passed down through generations, becoming a part of our collective folklore, a chilling reminder of the dark side of human experience. Number 14. Koo Koo, the bird girl. Born in Georgia in 1880, Koo Koo, whose real name was Minnie Woolsey, had a condition called Virchow-Seckel syndrome, also known as bird-headed dwarfism. It gave her a small head, a beak-like nose, and a recessed jaw, making her stand out from the crowd. But Koo Koo wasn't defined by her condition. She was a star. She had this cheerful voice, a charming personality, and she could dance and move in ways that were truly captivating. People were drawn to her infectious energy. She often wore a bird-like costume, feathers, and a tiara with a plume, which reinforced her nickname, Bird Girl. She'd flap her arms like wings, dance in a way that mimicked a bird, and her performances were full of life and joy. Koo Koo performed in freak shows and circuses, and she even had a notable role in the famous 1932 film Freaks, directed by Todd Browning. She was a legend, a true icon of the sideshow world, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, you can find a way to shine. Number 15. Frank Lentini, the three-legged man. Born in Sicily in 1889, Frank was born with a third leg, a congenital defect that set him apart. But instead of letting this define him, Frank embraced his difference, turning it into a source of both humor and wonder. At 8 years old, his family moved to Connecticut, and Frank quickly became a star in the circus world. He was a natural entertainer, using his third leg to perform incredible feats, like jumping rope and kicking soccer balls. Imagine that! He was also a great storyteller, sharing his journey and how he found acceptance and success in the world of sideshows. He even had a funny line about needing to eat 15% more food to feed the extra leg. Frank Lentini was more than just a performer. He was a testament to the power of human resilience. He showed the world that you can overcome any obstacle, that your differences can be your greatest strengths, and that laughter and acceptance are the keys to a happy life. Have you ever encountered someone with a unique physical condition? And if so, how did you react? Number 16. Ella Harper, the Camel Girl. Born in 1870, Ella had a rare condition called genu recurvatum, which made her knees bend backward, allowing her to move more easily on all fours. Ella became a star in circuses and freak shows in the 1880s, starting her career at the age of 14. She was a true sensation, drawing crowds who wanted to see this girl with camel knees perform her impressive moves. People traveled from all over to witness this marvel of nature. Ella was featured on posters and advertisements, promoting her unique skills, making her one of the most famous performers of her time. But despite her popularity in the world of sideshows, Ella left her circus career in 1886. She wanted a quieter life, and she was determined to get an education. We don't know a lot about her life after she left the circus, but records indicate that she got married and lived a more peaceful life. Number 17. Annie Jones, the Bearded Lady. A true icon of the sideshow world. Born in 1865 in Virginia, Annie started showing signs of hypertrichosis at a very young age. That's a condition that causes excessive hair growth, and for Annie, it meant a beard starting to grow when she was just 5 years old. Imagine that. P.T. Barnum, the legendary showman, discovered Annie, and she quickly became a star at his famous American Museum in New York City. He presented her as the Bearded Lady, and she captivated audiences with her unique appearance and captivating personality. Annie Jones was a true icon, a reminder that beauty comes in all shapes and forms, and that our differences can be a source of fascination and wonder. She was a symbol of acceptance and a testament to the power of individuality. Number 18. Fanny Mills, the Ohio Bigfoot Girl. Born in Ohio in the 1860s, Fanny had a condition called Milroy disease, a form of lymphedema that caused her legs and feet to swell to incredible proportions. Her feet were huge, measuring 50 centimeter long and 20 centimeter wide. Can you imagine? Fanny's unusual condition made her a popular attraction in circuses and dime museums. People flocked to see this Bigfoot girl, captivated by her extraordinary appearance. She used her unique situation to build a successful career, earning a good living from her performances. She was a strong, independent woman who used her talents to support herself and her family. Unfortunately, Fanny passed away in 1929. The exact cause of her death isn't known, but her lymphedema likely contributed to health complications throughout her life. Please comment 1 to let me know you'll be watching this video until the end. Number 19. George and Willie Muse, the Echo and Eco Exploitation. Born in Virginia at the end of the 19th century, George and Willie were black, but Willie was also albino, giving him a striking contrast in appearance. Their unique traits, sadly, made them a target for exploitation. In 1899, the brothers were kidnapped from their mother, Harriet Muse, and forced into a freak show. They were given names like Echo and Eco, and promoted as sheep-headed cannibals, titles that were completely untrue and designed to create a sensation. Despite the hardship and exploitation they endured, George and Willie showed incredible resilience. They worked in circuses for years, and they even developed musical talent. But their story has a hopeful ending. Eventually, their mother Harriet found them and fought to get them back. It was a legal battle for their freedom and compensation, and it highlights the tragic exploitation that people faced in the sideshow world. Number 20. Lavinia Warren, Charman the Trapeze Artist. Lavinia Warren, better known as Charman, a trapeze artist who broke barriers and defied expectations. Born in 1858, Charman was a daring and innovative performer, known for her incredible strength and acrobatic skills. She was a revolutionary figure in the world of entertainment, pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable for women in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Imagine this. Charman would undress while performing acrobatics on the trapeze. It was a sensation, a shocking and thrilling act that made her a star. She performed in renowned theaters and circuses, becoming an icon of the entertainment world. But Charmant was more than just a performer. She was a pioneer. She challenged the gender norms of the time, showing that women could be strong and brave, just as capable as men. She inspired other women to push boundaries and break barriers. Number 21. Stefan Bibrowski, Lionel, the lion-faced man. Born in Poland in 1890, Stefan Bibrowski, also known as Lionel, had a condition called hypertrichosis, giving him a thick growth of hair all over his face and body, making him look like a lion. At just 4 years old, he was sold to a German circus owner who saw the potential in his extraordinary appearance. Lionel became a star, one of the most popular attractions in curiosity shows, captivating audiences with his fierce look and kind personality. He even mingled with high society, challenging the narrow definitions of beauty that existed in those days. Lionel was more than just a spectacle. He was a performer. He told his life story, explaining how his condition led him to the world of sideshows. He performed acrobatic tricks and feats of strength, showing that his physical appearance didn't hold him back. Lionel was one of the main attractions at the legendary Barnum and Bailey Circus, traveling all over Europe and America, gaining international fame. He spoke several languages, was known for his intelligence, and his charm made him even more captivating. Number 22. Grady Stiles Jr., the Lobster Boy. Born in 1937, Grady had a rare condition called ectrodactyly, giving him lobster claw-like hands and feet. He followed in his father's footsteps, performing in circuses and using his unique hands to perform tricks and manipulate objects in amazing ways. But behind the curtain of his success, Grady's personal life was troubled. He was known for being abusive and violent, especially when he was drinking. In 1978, Grady shot and killed his daughter's fiancé on the eve of their wedding. He was convicted of third-degree murder, but due to his physical condition, he received a light sentence and was placed on probation. Sadly, in 1992, Grady was murdered by a hitman hired by his wife, Maria Teresa, and his stepson. They claimed it was retaliation for years of abuse. Number 23. Isaac W. Sprague, the living skeleton. Born in Massachusetts in 1841, Isaac started losing weight drastically when he was just 12 years old. No one could figure out why, but he couldn't gain weight no matter how much he ate. He became incredibly thin, his bones seeming to stick out through his skin. In 1865, Isaac joined P.T. Barnum's circus, and he quickly became a star. People were fascinated by his appearance, and they flocked to see this living skeleton. During his performances, Isaac would showcase his thin body, often wearing clothes that highlighted his skeletal figure. He'd share his story, explaining how his condition affected his life. Isaac performed in several other circuses and sideshows throughout his career. His condition was a medical mystery, with some theories suggesting he might have had an extreme form of muscular atrophy or a metabolic disorder. Number 24. Daisy and Violet Hilton, conjoined twins and a fight for freedom. Born in England in 1908, Daisy and Violet were joined at the hip and buttocks, sharing a circulatory system, but with separate organs. From a young age, their lives were marked by exploitation. Their adoptive mother, Mary Hilton, used them to make money, displaying them in circuses and fairs. After Mary's death, they were controlled by her daughter Edith and Edith's husband, who continued to exploit them for financial gain. But Daisy and Violet were talented. They learned to sing, dance, and play musical instruments, becoming popular performers on vaudeville stages. In 1931, they had enough. They sued their adoptive guardians for abuse and exploitation, finally winning their freedom. They began to control their own careers and finances, appearing in films like Freaks and Chained for Life. They continued to perform in vaudeville and carnivals, but now they were doing it on their own terms. Daisy and Violet's story is a powerful reminder of the importance of fighting for freedom and equality. They showed the world that even in the face of exploitation, we can find a way to break free and take control of our lives. They're a testament to the power of human spirit and the importance of standing up for what's right. Number 25. James Morris, competing for the title of Most Elastic. James Morris, the Elastic Skin Man, a contortionist who pushed the limits of human flexibility and competed with Felix Wehrle for the title of the most elastic man alive. Morris was a true marvel. Imagine bending your limbs in ways that seemed impossible, making it look like your bones could disappear. That's what James could do. He had contortion abilities that left audiences amazed. He traveled with the famous Ringling Brothers Circus, where he drew in crowds with his incredible performances. Just like Felix Wehrle, experts believe that Morris may have had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a condition that allows for super stretchy skin and loose joints. It's a reminder that the world of sideshows was filled with amazing performers, individuals who defied expectations and showed us the incredible possibilities of the human body. James Morris was a legend, a true icon of the circus world, and a testament to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. Number 26. Grace McDaniels, Mule-Faced Woman. Grace was born with a condition called Sturge-Weber syndrome. It gave her a unique appearance, with large birthmarks and a thickened face. It was tough for her. People were cruel, calling her the ugliest woman in the world. Imagine that. But Grace was strong. She hated that label. She fought back and convinced her managers to call her the Mule-Faced Woman instead. She even covered her ears when they introduced her, not wanting to hear those awful words. But Grace was a fighter. She found a way to make a living in sideshows, performing for crowds who wanted to see this extraordinary woman. And over time, she became more comfortable with herself. People who knew her said she was kind and shy, a gentle soul. She even became a mother. Sadly, her son, Elmer, struggled with problems. He wasn't kind to his mother. He misused her money and made bad choices. Grace passed away naturally in 1958. Her son, Elmer, died soon after, and they say it was because of his struggles with alcohol. Grace McDaniels' story is a reminder that people can overcome challenges, even when life throws difficult things their way. It's a story about finding your own strength and creating your own path. Despite facing incredible hardship, Grace managed to live her life on her own terms. Let me know if I missed any incredible stories. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, be sure to check out other videos in this series. Don't forget to subscribe and share Who Remembers with someone you know. As always, thank you so much for watching.